Beauty standards can be, well, pretty wild sometimes. And in Japan, some of them might totally flip what you expect. So I want you to forget everything you think you know because we're about to dive into 3 standards of attractiveness that show a really fascinating side of Japanese culture.
So what actually gets considered unattractive in Japan? We're going to unpack 3 specific things that go way beyond the usual ideas of beauty. And trust me, these aren't just about looks. They're more like windows into some deep cultural values about professionalism, cleanliness, and even self-care.
All right, first up is something that might really catch you off guard. Especially today, when glasses are a huge fashion statement for a lot of us. We're calling this one beyond the lens.
Okay, so get this. The first standard is that wearing glasses can be seen as less appealing. Now, of course, this isn't some universal rule that applies to everyone everywhere. But in certain professional or more formal social situations, there's often a preference for a clear, unobstructed face. And this is where it gets really interesting. The feeling can go beyond just simple aesthetics, to the point where glasses are sometimes viewed as straight-up unprofessional. It really points to this cultural focus on presenting a very clean, direct look, which, is why contact lenses are the go-to choice for so many people in the workplace there.
So, this idea of a meticulous, really polished look, it doesn't just stop at the face. Let's move on to our second standard, which kind of broadens this whole concept of what a polished appearance really means. Which brings us to number 2, visible body hair. In Japan, there's a huge cultural premium put on having a smooth, hairless look. It's why the hair removal industry there is absolutely massive. It's a pretty widely applied standard.
And untidy is really the key word here. It's not so much a debate about what's natural versus unnatural. It's more about what signals carefulness and attention to detail. Visible body hair can be seen as, well, untidy, and that ties right into a broader cultural value placed on scrupulous grooming. A smooth appearance is just seen as being well kept. And for our third and final standard, we're sticking with this theme of what your appearance signals about you. But this time, it's all about what your skin is believed to say about you. Yeah, number 3 is all about having skin that isn't perfectly clear and flawless. So things like pimples or marks or other blemishes, they aren't just seen as, temporary cosmetic problems. In this context, they can carry a much deeper social meaning.
So why is that? Well, culturally, imperfect skin can get linked to the idea of poor self-care. It's often read as an outward sign that maybe someone isn't taking great care of their health or their diet or hygiene. So having clear skin becomes this really visible signal of discipline and well-being.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap. We've got wearing glasses, visible body hair, and imperfect skin. They seem like 3 totally separate things, right? But they all bring up a much bigger question. Why? What's the common thread here? To really get that, we need to look at the cultural framework behind it all.
So let's dive into that why. What are the cultural values that are driving these very specific and, to many of us, surprising standards of appearance?
Okay, so the most important thing to get here is that these standards aren't just random. They're a direct reflection of some deeply held values about personal presentation, cleanliness, and even showing respect to others. Presenting a polished, well-kept self is often seen as just part of your responsibility as a member of the group.
So when you boil it all down, this is about so much more than just looking good. These standards are basically unspoken cultural signals. They communicate things without words: your professionalism, your attention to detail, and your commitment to this collective ideal of a clean, well-ordered society.
It's just a fascinating look at how appearance is this whole other language, a kind of nonverbal communication with rules that can be so different around the world. It really makes you stop and think about the unspoken rules that exist in your own culture. So, what do you think? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.